Greetings learners, and welcome to another awesome edition. In this edition we are looking at practice problem number 11, and this is from the May-June 2019 exam. So the statement reads, the first four terms of a quadratic patterns are 15, 29, 41, 51. Then the first question, 2.1.1, requires us to write down the value of the fifth term. So let's go ahead, 2.1.1. So let's write down what we have. So what we have is 15, 29, 41, 51, and what we are looking for, okay, and so on. So the easiest thing we can do is to find the differences. So this difference will be 14, and then we can go ahead and do 41 minus 29, which will end up giving us 12. Then we go for the next one, which will be 51 minus 41, which will give us a 10. And then we can now go ahead and find the second difference. The second difference, if you observe carefully, will be -2. Okay, so what does this mean? So this means I can find this difference here because how we are moving, as we go to the right, we are subtracting -2. Okay, that is what is happening. We're subtracting -2, so which means the value that is supposed to sit here is 8. And guess what? How we move from this term to this one, I add the difference between them, which is plus 10. So which means how I'm going to move from this one to that term, I need to add 8, which means the term that I'm looking for is 59. So we can go ahead and give our answer, which is therefore term 5 will be 59. So that is our answer because we were required to find the fifth term. Okay, done with that. Let's have a look at the next one, 2.1.2. We are required to determine the expression for the nth term. And the easiest thing to do, or maybe as an understanding, what we are required to do is to figure out what is Tn. And we know that in standard form, Tn is an squared plus bn plus c. So the first thing that we need to solve for is a. It's the easiest thing. How do we solve for a? Well, we take 2a, we equate it to the second difference. So which means 2a equals -2, so we can solve for a easily by dividing by 2. So that the value of a which we obtain will be -1. Okay, next let's go ahead and solve for b. So how do we solve for b? Well, if we have T1 and T2, we will use their difference. T1 minus T2 will be 3a plus b. So this difference is 14. Then we have 3 times our a is -1 plus b. And this just becomes 14 equals -3 plus b. So we'll transpose this -3 so that our b becomes 14 plus 3. And this will be 17. So we have our value of b. Let's go and solve for c. And when solving for c, we will use the first term if we have, which we do have here. And T1 will always be a plus b plus c. The first term is 15. So we have 15 equals, our a is -1, our b is 17 plus c. So this means we'll have 15 equals 16 plus c. So we can transpose and then have our c equaling negative 1. So now we can go ahead and determine our Tn, because we have A, B, and C. So therefore, our Tn, which is our general equation, will be A is negative, so we'll have negative n squared. B is positive, it is 17, that's 17n, then minus 1. Okay, and there we go. This will be our answer. Okay, I hope that you do understand what we did here. So let's have a look at the next term, the next question, where we are required to determine the value of T27, which let me try and squeeze in this page. It's a very easy one. So that question is 2.1.3. So they require us to determine what is T27. So T27 will simply be equal to, let's go to the next line, but wherever we see n, we'll put in 27. So T27 will be negative 27 all squared plus 17 times 27 minus 1. So the answer we get is negative 271. I hope I didn't make any mistake, but as always, please do check. So that becomes our answer. And whoever was marking or is marking your paper would be so happy that you actually do understand this question. So that brings us to example 11, which so far, or practice problem 11, we've covered 10 past exam papers and 5 examples, which means in total you have about 15 examples that you can work through for quadratic sequences. We hope that this will aid your understanding and make you feel more confident in this topic. Thank you. Let's meet on the next one. Cheers.